Your Excellency President Michel Temer, Your Excellency President Jacob Zuma, distinguished guests, representatives of the business community, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, good afternoon. It is my great pleasure to have all of you with us in the beautiful city of Xiamen, renowned as the Egret Island. It used to be the habitat of a lot of egret, hence the name Egret Island. The bird egret is the city bird of Xiamen. The BRICS Summit will be held tomorrow. On behalf of the Chinese government and people, and also the people of Xiamen City, and in my own name, welcome all of you to the city of Xiamen and to the Let me say a few words about the city, our host city. Xiamen has been a trading port since ancient times, as well as a gateway of China's opening up and external cooperation. Embracing the vast ocean, the city has hosted visitors from around the world. On a personal note, when I came to Fujian province to take up a new post in 1985, I spent about 10 years in this province. Xiamen is where I started off. At that time, Xiamen was one of the 4 special economic zones in China. Back then, Xiamen was at the forefront of China's reform and opening up endeavor as one of the earliest special economic zones. The other 3 were in Guangdong province, Shenzhen, Zhuhai, and Shantou cities, and Xiamen is one of the 4. At that time, it was a heartland of development. 3 decades later, Xiamen today has been transformed and has taken on a new look. It is well known for its innovation and entrepreneurship. As I understand, the share of new economy takes over 60% of the economy, as was told by the mayor and provincial leaders. And there were robust trade and investment and easy access to the world with air, land, and sea links. Xiamen Airline is performing very well. Well, today, it is also a beautiful garden city with a perfect harmony between man and nature. Xiamen is in the southern part of Fujian. The dialect here is very unique. I spent a lot of years here. I can understand some, but I don't speak a word. There is a popular saying here in southern Fujian, dedicate yourself and you will win. This embodies an enterprising spirit. Xiamen's success is a good example demonstrating the perseverance of the 1.3 billion plus Chinese people. In close to 40 years of reform and opening up, for next year we will celebrate the 40th anniversary. Under the leadership of the Communist Party of China, we Chinese have forged ahead, fearless and determined.
滴水穿石的韧劲儿，
And we have
可以说成功的走出了一条中国特色
embarked
社会
on
主
a
义道
path
路。
of socialism with distinctive Chinese features.
我们遇到过困
We
难，
have encountered difficulties
我们遇到过挑
and we
战，
have encountered challenges on the way forward.
但我们不懈奋斗，
But we have persevered
与时俱进。
and we have kept pace with the times.
是用勤劳、勇敢、
With
智慧
dedication, courage, and
书写着当代
ingenuity,
中国
we are making great
发展
progress
进步的
in
故事。
pursuing development in today's China.
女士们、先生们，
Ladies and
朋友
gentlemen,
们，
dear friends,
金砖合作
BRICS
正处在
cooperation
承前启
has
后的
now
关键
reached
节
a
点上。
crucial stage of development.
观察金砖
In
合作发
assessing
展，
BRICS cooperation's
有两个
performance,
维度
it is important to
十分
bear
重要。
two things in mind.
一个呢是要把
One
金
is
砖合
the
作放在
historical course
世界
of
发展和
global
国际格
development
局演变
and
的历史
evolving
进程中
international landscape.
二是要
And the
把
other
金砖
is the
合作
historical process
放在五
of
国
development
各
of
自
BRICS
和共
countries,
同发展
both
的
individually
历史
and
进程中
collectively,
来看。
in the context of which BRICS cooperation is
现在我们
pursued.
正处在一个
We
大
are
发
in a
展、
great era of development,
变革、
transformation,
大调
and
整的时代。
adjustment.
虽然全球
Although
范围内冲突
Conflict
和贫
and
困
poverty
尚
are
未
yet
根除，
to be eliminated
但
globally.
和平和
The
发展
trend
的潮
toward
流
peace and development
越发强
has
劲。
grown ever stronger.
世界多极
Our
化，
world today
经
is
济
becoming
全球化，
increasingly multipolar.
文
The
化
economy has
多样
become
化，
globalized. There is growing
社
cultural
会
diversity,
信息化，
and the society has become digitized.
都在深入的发展。弱肉强食的丛林
The
法
law of the
则，
jungle,
你输
where
我
the
赢
strong
的
prey
零和
on the
游
weak,
戏，
and the
不再
zero-sum
符合时
game
代逻辑。
are rejected.
和平发展合
And
作、
peace,
共赢
development, and
这
win-win
成为各国人
cooperation
民
have become the shared
共同的呼声。
aspiration of all peoples.
在这样的大背景
Against
下，
such a backdrop,
一大批
a
新
large
兴市
number
场
of
国家和发展
emerging
中国
markets
家
and developing
异
countries
军突起，
have come to the fore,
在国际事务
playing
中发挥
an
着
ever greater role
日益重
in
要的作用。
international affairs.
金砖合作也
BRICS
应运而生。
cooperation is a natural
我
choice
们五国
made by our 5 countries,
怀着追求
as we
和
all
平
share
发
a
展的共
desire
同
for
愿望
peace and development.
走到一起。在过去10
In the
年中，
past decade,
金砖国家
we, the BRICS
携手
countries,
同
have
行，
surged ahead
成长
and
为世
become
界
a
经济
bright
的
spot
新
in the
亮点
global economy.
中。
The past decade has
金砖国家
seen
探
BRICS
索进
countries
取谋求
making
共
headway
同发展。
in pursuing common development.
2008
The sudden
年爆
outbreak
发
of
的
the
国际金融危机，
2008 global financial
突如其来，
crisis left the world
直接导致
economy
了世界经
reeling,
济急刹车，至今
which is
未能
yet
重回
to
正轨。
fully recover.
面对外部环境突
Facing
然
the
变化，
external shock,
我们五
our
国
5 countries
立足
have held
国
the
内，
ground by strengthening the
集
domestic
中精力发
economy,
展经济，
boosting growth,
改善
and
民生。
improving people's livelihood.
10年
In
间，
the past 10 years,
五国
our
经济
combined
总量
GDP
增长
has
了
grown by
170%，
179%,
贸易总量增长了
trade by
94%，
94%,
城镇
and
化
urban
人口
population
增长了
by
28%。
28%.
这为世界
All
经
this
济
has
企稳复苏
contributed significantly
确实
to
做出了突出的
stabilizing
贡
the
献。
global economy and
也让
returning it
30
to
多亿
growth.
啊
And
人
it
民
has
有了
delivered
实实
tangible
在在
benefits
的
to
获得
3
感。
billion and more people.
10年中，
The past decade has
金
seen
砖国
BRICS
家务
countries
实为先，
advancing results-oriented
推进
and mutually
互利合作。
beneficial cooperation.
我们五国
Leveraging
发挥
our respective
互补优势，
strengths
拉紧
and converging
利
interests,
益纽带，
we
共同
have We have put in place a leaders-driven cooperation framework that covers wide-ranging areas and multiple levels. A number of cooperation projects have been launched that are in keeping with our 5 countries' development strategies and meet the interests of our peoples. In particular, the new development bank and the contingent reserve arrangement have provided financing support for infrastructure building and sustainable development of BRICS countries, contributing to enhanced global economic governance and the building of an international financial safety net. The past decade has seen BRICS countries endeavoring to fulfill their international responsibility. Committed to multilateralism, fairness, and justice, our 5 countries have staked out our position on international and regional issues and made out proposals to address them. We have promoted reform of global economic governance to increase the representation and say of emerging market and developing countries. As a champion of development, we have taken the lead in implementing the Millennium Development Goals and Sustainable Development Goals, and we have engaged in close dialogue and cooperation with other developing countries to pursue development through unity. As an old saying goes, the construction of a tall building starts with its foundation. We have laid the foundation, and we have put in place the framework for BRICS cooperation. In reviewing the past progress of BRICS cooperation, I believe there are 3 important practices that should be carried forward. First, treating each other as equals and seeking common ground while shelving differences. In terms of BRICS cooperation, decisions are made through consultation among us all, not by one country alone. We respect each other's path and model of development, accommodate each other's concerns, and work to enhance strategic communication and political mutual trust. Given differences in national conditions, history, and culture, it is only natural that we may have some differences in pursuing our cooperation. However, with strong faith in cooperation and commitment to enhancing trust, we can achieve steady progress in our cooperation. Second, taking a results-oriented, innovative approach to make our cooperation benefit all. BRICS country cooperation is not a talking shop, but a task that gets things done. Our goal is to build a big market of trade and investment, promote smooth flow of currency and finance, improve connectivity of infrastructure, and build close bond between the people. In pursuing this goal, our 5 countries are engaged in practical cooperation across the board, covering several dozen areas, including economy, trade, finance, science, technology, education, culture, and health, thus giving concrete expression to the endeavor of building a new type of international relations featuring win-win cooperation. Third, developing ourselves to help others with the well-being of the world in our mind. Having gone through an arduous course of development, we BRICS countries share the agony of those people who are still caught in chaos and poverty. Since the very beginning, Our 5 countries have been guided by the principle of dialogue without confrontation, partnership without alliance. We are committed to observing the purposes and principles of the UN Charter, international law, and basic norms governing international relations in conducting state-to-state relations. When developing ourselves, we are ready to share development opportunities with other countries. The philosophy of BRICS cooperation has gained growing appreciation and endorsement, and has become a positive energy in the international community. All this is what the BRICS spirit is about. It is the shared value that has bound us in the past decades' cooperation. This spirit, constantly enriched over the years, has not only benefited our peoples, but also enabled us to make a difference in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, reviewing past progress helps us forge ahead in the right direction. Currently, the global economy has resumed growth, with emerging market and developing countries delivering a strong performance. A new round of technological and industrial revolution is in the making, and reform and innovation are gaining momentum. We have enough reason to believe that our world will be a better place. On the other hand, more than 700 million people are still living in hunger. Tens of millions of people are displaced and become refugees. So many people, including innocent children, are killed in conflicts. The global economy is still not healthy enough and remains in a period of adjustment featuring weak growth. And new growth drivers are yet to emerge. Economic globalization is facing more uncertainties. Emerging market and developing countries find themselves in a more complex external environment. The long road to global peace and development will not be a smooth one. Some people, seeing that emerging market and developing countries have experienced growth setbacks, assert that BRICS countries are losing their luster. Well, it is true that, affected by complex internal and external environments, we BRICS countries have encountered varying intensity. But the growth potential and trend of our countries remain unchanged, and we are fully confident about it. It is time to set sail when the tide rises. Going forward, we BRICS countries have a major task to accomplish, which is growing our economies and strengthening cooperation. We should build on past success, chart the course for future cooperation, and embark on a new journey to jointly usher in the second golden decade of BRICS cooperation. I want to share with you several observations. First, we should boost BRICS cooperation to create new impetus for economic growth of our 5 countries. In recent years, thanks to our strengths in terms of commodity supply, cost of human
人
resources,
力资源成本和
and
国际市场需求
international
这些优
market
势，
demand,
引领着
our
世界
five
经济的
countries
增长。
have driven economic
随着我国
global
经济
growth.
不断发展，
As
资
our
源
five
要素配
countries
置
continue to grow,
产业
however,
结构等问
issues
题
concerning resources allocation and industrial structure have become more
同时，
acute.
世界经济结构
At the same time,
历经
the
深刻
global
调整，
economic structure
国际
is
市场
going
需
through
求稳定，
profound changes, evidenced by
金融风
shrinking
险
global
积聚。
demand and rising financial risks.
金砖国家经济
All
传统
this
优势
has
在发
posed
生变化。
challenges to the traditional strengths of BRICS
我
economies.
形容呢是进入了一个滚石
I will
上
put
山
it that it is taking
爬坡
us to a
过坎儿的
crucial stage.
关键。
We must work harder to overcome difficulties.
如何跨越这个阶段呢？
How should we get through this stage?
答案是不能片面地追求增
Growth
长
rate
速度，
alone is not the
而是要
answer.
立足自
Instead,
身，
we
放
should,
眼长
on the
远，
basis of our current
推进
conditions
结
and
构性
bearing
改
in
革，
mind the long-term goal, advance
探
structural
寻新
reform
的增
and
长动
explore
力，
new growth drivers
发展路
and
径。
development paths.
要把握新
We
工业革
should
命的
seize
机遇，
the opportunity
以创
presented
新
by the new
促增长，
industrial revolution
促转
to
型，
promote growth
积极投身
and change growth model through
像
innovation.
智能
We
制
should
作、
pursue innovation-driven development
互联网加、
created by smart manufacturing, the
共
Internet
享
Plus
经济
model, digital
这些
economy,
带
and
来的
sharing economy.
创新发展浪潮，努力
We should
领风
stay
气之
ahead
先
of the curve
加快
and move
新旧
faster
动
to
能转
replace
换。
old growth drivers with new
要
ones.
通过改革
We should
打破制约
eliminate
经济发展
impediments to
的
economic
藩篱，
development through reform,
扫清不合
remove
理的
systemic
制
and
度
institutional
机
barriers,
制障碍，激发市
and
场
energize
和
the
社会活力，
market and the society
实现
so as
更
to
高质
achieve
量、
better quality,
更
more
具韧
resilient,
性、
and sustainable
更可
growth
持续的增长。金砖国家虽然国情不同，但
Despite
处于
different
相
national
近的发展
conditions,
阶
we
段
BRICS countries
具有
are
相
at
同
a
的
similar
发展目
development
标。
stage and share the same development
我
goals.
们应该共同
We
探
should
索
jointly explore ways
经济创新
to
增长
boost
之道，
innovation-driven growth.
加强宏
This
观政策
requires
协
us
调，
to improve
和发展
macroeconomic
战略
policy
的对接，
coordination, synergize our
发挥
respective
产业结构
development
和资源
strategies,
禀赋
leverage our strength in
互补
terms of
优势，
industrial structure and resources
培育
endowment,
利益共享
and
的价
create
值链
value
和
chains
大市场，
and a big market for shared
形成
interests
联动发
so
展
as
格
to
局。
achieve interconnected development.
我们要用改革创新的实践
Basing
经验
ourselves on our
为
own
其他的
practices of reform
新兴市
and
场
innovation,
经
we
济
should
体
blaze
的
a
发
new
展中国
path
家
which may also help other emerging
抓
market
机遇
and developing countries
应对
to
挑
seize
战
opportunities
闯出一条
and
新路。
meet challenges.
经济合作是
Economic
金
cooperation
砖机
is
制
the
的根基
foundation of the BRICS mechanism.
我们应该紧紧
With
围
this
绕这条
focus in
主
mind,
线，落实
we
金
should
砖国
implement
家经济
For
伙
BRICS
伴战略，
economic partnership,
推动各领域合作机制化，
institutionalize and
实行化，
substantiate cooperation in various
不断
sectors,
提升
and continue
金砖
to
合作
enhance
含
the
金量。
performance of BRICS cooperation.
今年啊，
This
我
year,
们在新开
we
发
have
银
made
行和
progress
应
in
急
the
储备
operation of the
安
new
排
development
建
bank
设，
and contingent
电子商
reserve
务
arrangement, and also
贸易和
in
投资便利
e-commerce,
化
trade and investment facilitation,
服务贸易
trading services,
本币债
local
券、
currency bond issuance,
科技创新、
scientific and
工业
technological
合作、
innovation, industrial cooperation,
政府和
and
社会
public-private
资本合作
partnership
等领域，取得了一系列成果，拓展了
thus
经济合
expanding
作
and
广度和
intensify
深度。
economic cooperation.
我们要继续努
We
力
should continue
落实
to
以往的
implement
成果，
agreements and consensus already reached,
让现有机
and
制发
better
挥作用。
leverage the role of current
同时积极
mechanisms.
探
We
索
should also
合作
explore new ways
新
and
方
new
式
areas of practical cooperation
内涵
and strengthen our ties
拉
in
紧
order to
联系纽带，
ensure
让金砖
durable
合作
and
行稳
fruitful
致远。
BRICS cooperation.
第二，
Second, We BRICS countries should shoulder our responsibilities to uphold global peace and stability. Peace and development underpin and reinforce each other. People around the world want peace and cooperation, not conflict or confrontation. Thanks to the joint efforts of all countries, global peace has reigned for more than half a century. However, incessant conflicts in some parts of the world and hotspot issues are posing challenges to world peace. The intertwined threats of terrorism and security, among others, have cast a dark shadow over the world. We BRICS countries are committed to upholding global peace and contributing to the international security order. This year, we have held the meeting of High Representatives for Security Affairs and also the meeting of Foreign Ministers. We have put in place a regular meeting mechanism for our permanent representatives to multilateral institutions and convened the Foreign Policy Planning Dialogue, the meeting of Counterterrorism Working Group, the meeting of Cybersecurity Working Group, and the consultation on peacekeeping operations. These efforts aim to strengthen consultation and coordination on major international and regional issues, and also build synergy among BRICS countries. We should uphold the purposes and principles of the UN Charter and the basic norms governing international relations, firmly support multilateralism, work for greater democracy in international relations, and oppose hegemonism and power politics. We should foster the vision of common, comprehensive, cooperative, and sustainable security, and take a constructive part in the process of resolving geopolitical hotspot issues and make our due contributions. I am convinced that as long as we take a holistic approach to fighting terrorism in all its forms and address both its symptoms and root causes, terrorists will have no place to hide. When dialogue, consultation, and negotiation are conducted to create conditions for achieving political settlement of issues such as Syria, Libya, and the Palestine-Israel conflict, the flame of war can be put out, and displaced refugees will eventually return to their homes. Third, we BRICS countries should contribute to enhancing global economic governance. Only openness delivers progress, and only inclusiveness sustains such progress. Due to sluggish global growth in recent years, such issues as uneven development, inadequate governance, and the deficit of fairness have become more acute. And protectionism and inward-looking mentality are on the rise. The global economy and the global economic governance system, having entered a period of adjustment, face new challenges. We should not ignore problems arising from economic globalization or just complain about them. Rather, we should make joint efforts to find solutions. We should work together with the other members of the international community to step up dialogue, coordination, and cooperation, and contribute to upholding and securing global economic stability and growth. To this end, we should promote the building of an open global economy, advance trade and investment liberalization and facilitation, jointly build new global value chains, and rebalance economic globalization Doing so will bring benefits to people across the world. We 5 countries should open more to each other and expand convergent interests in this process. We should take an inclusive approach and share opportunities together so as to create even brighter prospects for growing the economies of the 5 countries. The development of emerging market and developing countries is not intended to move the cheese of anyone, but to make the pie of the global economy bigger. We should join hands to steer the course of economic globalization, offer more vision and public goods, make the governance model and the rules more balanced and inclusive, and improve and reshape international division of labor and the global value chains. We should work to reform the global economic governance system to make it commensurate with the reality of the global economic architecture. We should also improve governance rules for the new domains of deep sea, polar regions, outer space, and cyberspace, so as to ensure that all countries share both rights and responsibilities. Fourth, we should increase the influence of BRICS and build extensive partnerships. As a cooperation platform with global influence, BRICS cooperation is more than about our 5 countries. Rather, it carries the expectations of emerging market and developing countries, and indeed the entire international community. Guided by the principle of open and inclusive cooperation, we BRICS countries place high premium on cooperation with other emerging market and developing countries, and we have established effective dialogue mechanisms with them. As the Chinese saying goes, it is easy to break 1 arrow, but hard to break 10 arrows bundled together. We should leverage our respective strength and influence, promote South-South cooperation and North-South dialogue, pool the collective strength of all countries, and jointly diffuse risks and meet challenges. We should expand the coverage of BRICS cooperation and deliver its benefits to more people. We should promote the BRICS Plus cooperation approach and build an open and a diversified network of development partnerships to get more emerging market and developing countries involved in our concerted endeavors for cooperation and mutual benefits. During the Xiamen Summit, China will hold the dialogue of emerging market and developing countries, where leaders of 5 countries from different regions will be invited to join the BRICS leaders in discussing global development cooperation and South-South cooperation, as well as the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Mutual understanding and friendship among peoples is crucial to enhancing BRICS cooperation and building extensive partnerships. We should fully leverage the role of people-to-people and cultural exchanges and encourage extensive public participation in BRICS cooperation. We should hold more events like movie festivals, cultural festivals, and sports games that are popular among the people, so that the BRICS story will be told everywhere, and the exchanges and friendship of the peoples of our 5 countries will become an inexhaustible source of strength, driving BRICS cooperation.
女士们、先生们、朋友们，
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends,
金砖合作机制不断走深走实的10年，
the past decade has not only
也
seen
是中国
solid
全面
progress
推进
in the BRICS cooperation
改革开放
mechanism, it has
经济
also
社会实
witnessed
现
the
快速
unfolding of all-round
发展的
reform
10
and
年。
opening up in China, and its rapid
10 年
economic
中
and social development. Over these 10 years,
中国经济总
China's
量
economic aggregate
增长了
has grown by
239%，
239%,
货物
and
进
its
出口
total
总
volume
额
of exports and
增
imports
长
in
了
goods
73%，
risen by 73%.
成为世界第
China
2
has
大经
become
济
the
体。
world's second largest economy.
13亿多
The
中国人民
lives
的
of
生活
its
水平，
1.3 billion plus people have been significantly improved,
中国为世界和
and
地
China
区
has
经济
made
发展做出的贡
increasingly
献
greater contribution
也越来
to
越大。
both regional and global economic development.
不可否认的是，
It is true that
随着中国
as
改革
China's
进
reform
入
endeavors
攻坚
have
期、
entered a crucial stage
攻坚期和深水
where
区，
tough challenges must be met,
一些深层次的
some
矛盾和问
underlying
题
difficulties and problems have surfaced.
需要下大决
They
心，
must be addressed
花大气
with
力
resolve and
加以克服。
determination.
中国有句老话
As an old Chinese saying
叫
goes,
良药苦口，
effective medicine tastes
我们采
bitter.
用的是全
The
面深
medicine
化
that we
改
have
革，
prescribed for ourselves
设计
is to carry out
两方
all-round reform.
这5年来啊，
Over the past 5
我
years,
们采取
we have
了
adopted
1500多项
over 1,500 reform measures,
推动改革呈现全面发
uncovering
力、
all sectors,
多点突
with
破、
breakthroughs made
纵
in
深
multiple
推进的局
areas,
面。
and the reform is being
经济结
pursued
构调整和
with
产业
greater
升级步伐
intensity. The pace of economic structural adjustment and industrial upgrading has accelerated. China's economy has maintained a steady and sound performance,
经济持
and
续发
new
展的新
drivers
动能
sustaining
不
development
断的积聚。
have grown in strength.
今年上半年，
In the first half of
中
this
国
year,
经济增长6%。
China's economy grew by 6.9%.
第三产业增加
The
值
value added from
占
services
国内生产总
accounted
值
for
的54.1%。
54.1% of the GDP,
新增城镇就业735万人。
7.35 million urban jobs were
事实证
created.
明，
All these
全面
achievements
深
have
化改
proven
革
that
的路
deepening
走对了。
all-round reform is the
而且
right
我们要
path
继续大步的走下去。
that we should continue to follow.
面向未来，
Going forward,
中国将
China
深
will
入贯
continue to
彻
put into practice
创新、
the vision of
协调、
innovative, coordinated,
绿色、
green,
开放、
open,
共享的
and
发
inclusive
展理念，
development.
不断适应、把
We
握
will、
引领
adapt to
经济
and
发
steer
展
the
新
new
常
normal
态，
of economic
推
development,
进
push
供
forward
给侧
supply-side
制度
structural
性改
reform,
革，加快构建
accelerate
开
the
放
building
型
of a
经
new
济，
system for an open economy,
以创新
drive economic
引领
development
经济
with
发展，
innovation,
实现可
achieve
持续发展。
sustainable development.
中国将坚定
China
不移
will
走
stay firmly
和平发
committed
展道
to
路，
peaceful development
为世界和
and
平的
make
发展
even greater
做出
contribution
新的
to global
更大的
peace
贡献。
and development.
今年5月，
Last May,
中方成功
China
主办
successfully
一带一
hosted
路国际合
the
作
Belt and
峰会
Road
论坛
Forum for International Cooperation,
29个
which was attended
国家的
by
元首和
29
政
heads
府
of
首
state
脑
or government
，140多个国家和80多个国际组
and
织
also
的1600
over
名代表，
1,600 representatives from more than 140 countries
标志着
and 80
共
plus
建“一带一路”
international
倡议
organizations.
已经进入
This
从
ushered in a
理念
new stage
到
of
行
translating
动
the Belt and Road
从规划
Initiative
到
from
实
vision
施
to
的
action
新阶
and
段。
from planning to implementation.
各国代表在会上共商
Foreign
合作大
participants
计，
discussed the ways of
共谋
promoting
发展
cooperation
良
and
策，
development
达成
and
广泛
reached
共识。
broad consensus.
需要指出的
Let me
是，
make this clear.
共建“一带一
The
路”
Belt
倡
and
议
Road Initiative
不是地缘政治
is not a tool to advance any
而是务
geopolitical
实合
agenda,
作平台，
but a platform for practical cooperation.
不是对外援
It is
助计
not
划
a foreign aid scheme,
而是共商共
but
建
an
共享的
initiative
联
for
动
interconnected development which calls for extensive consultation, joint contribution, and shared benefits. I am convinced that the Belt and Road Initiative will serve as a new platform for all countries to achieve win-win cooperation, and that it will create new opportunities for implementing the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The business community of BRICS countries is the main force driving our economic development. Over the last decade, you have incorporated your business development into BRICS cooperation, thus making important contribution to forging BRICS economic partnerships. The reason why we are holding the Business Forum on the eve of the summit is to solicit your views and advice, so that we can work together to make the Xiamen Summit a success and enable BRICS cooperation to deliver. I hope you will leverage your strength in terms of information, technology, and funding to launch more practical and mutually beneficial cooperation projects that benefit our countries and peoples. What you do will help spur economic and social development and improve people's lives. The Chinese government will continue to encourage Chinese companies to operate and take root in other countries. And likewise, we also warmly welcome foreign companies to invest and operate in China. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, we BRICS countries will enter a second decade of more vibrant growth. Let us work together with other members of the international community. Let our cooperation deliver more benefits to the peoples of our 5 countries. Let the benefits of global peace and development reach all the people in the world. In conclusion, I wish the Business Forum every success. Thank you.